Hey everyone, welcome back to another cryptocurrency video. In today's video, we'll be discussing Bitcoin and its bull market support band, comparing it to what's happened in the past and comparing to where Bitcoin is now against altcoins. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button as it always means a lot to me. And if you are a fan of cryptocurrency, I have a cryptocurrency shop where you can shop cryptocurrency products. I'll leave a link in the description down below so you can get a nice discount off your next purchase. I currently have a sale off where you can purchase any gift and you can get 25% off any product. So go ahead and click the link in the description down below. So without further ado, let's begin with the video. And it's evidently been a couple of weeks since I provided an update on Bitcoin against this bull market support band, and that is due to the fact of how Bitcoin has essentially been going sideways for such a long time. So in these last couple of weeks, you can see Bitcoin has been moving sideways, but the bull market support band has been moving up. Now, why is that? For those who are not familiar with Bitcoin or its bull market support band, or you are new to this channel or you haven't watched any past videos of mine, the bull market support band is essentially composed of moving averages, and these moving averages are the 20-week moving average and the 21-week EMA. Yeah. So when Bitcoin is going sideways, especially after going into a massive uptrend like so, if Bitcoin goes sideways, these moving averages will continue to go up. Why? Because they are lagging indicators. What that means is that it takes an average of the last 20 weeks and replaces the price that it was 20 weeks ago with the price where it is at today. So, for example, Bitcoin today, and today is a Monday, so the bull market support band would have received an update. The price of Bitcoin today, or where it closed, was exactly at 61,500 US dollars. If Bitcoin closes at $61,500, that $61,500 will replace what the price was 20 weeks ago. So if we essentially go back 20 weeks, that would take us back to the end of December. And at the end of December, Bitcoin's price was around 43,000 United States dollars. So that 61,000 is replacing that 43,000, hence why the bull market support band will continue to go up, even though Bitcoin USD has been going sideways for the last 2 months. You get it? Right, so I just want to point out as well, because whoever you watch on YouTube, everyone has their own bias, and it's important to say that because I'm not here to support one view, because anything can happen in markets. Yeah, I believe the best way to navigate markets is to analyze your risk-adjusted returns in the first place. You always want exposure to markets whilst minimizing your downside risk. That is the best way to be an investor. I touched up on this in the Bitcoin dominance video in the video I've just made. So if you haven't watched that, make sure you go watch that one. But in today's video, we're most likely going to dissect Bitcoin and its behavior towards the bull market support band, how it has reacted in the past, and compare other cryptocurrencies against their bull market support band, and then compare that to Bitcoin, right? So I was of the opinion, yeah, that because Bitcoin hasn't backtested its bull market support band ever since it broke out back in October, that the Bitcoin price will evidently fall below it if it comes back to backtest it. It's happened in past history where we go over a threshold of, let's say, for example, 20 weeks or so. If Bitcoin is trending above its bull market support band and it hasn't backtested it as support for over 20 weeks, it is highly likely that it will fall below it on its first retest. I showed you guys prior examples before. This happened in 2020 and 2021. Where Bitcoin didn't backtest this bull market support band for such a long time, and then once it finally did, it fell below. And it also happened in 2019 per se, where Bitcoin broke out here in April of 2019 and then didn't backtest until we get to this point right here, and then it fell below. So what has happened? What has happened? In the last couple of weeks, when Bitcoin had that flash crash, it indeed wicked to the bull market support band. But would we be able to classify this as a successful backtest? Technically speaking, yes, I have been proven wrong that Bitcoin has backtested the bull market support band, technically speaking, because the price did evidently touch the bull market support band. And if it touches the bull market support band and then trends above it, technically speaking, it has backtested it successfully, right? On the other hand, fundamentally speaking, is it really a successful backtest if it hasn't sufficiently backtested the bull market support band? And by sufficiently, I mean backtesting it to the point where it looks like so. If I go back to prior cycles, you can see where it has successfully backtested the bull market support band in numerous weeks. And that is true confirmation. Yeah? Not just one wick. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from? It's not just one small wick. I mean, we've had that in the past where Bitcoin had a small wick, but the following week began at the bull market support band. Whereas this time, it was just one small wick and then back up. So some individuals may say that just goes to show the strength of Bitcoin, right? But I tend to disagree with that, and let me show you why. So the prior example of when Bitcoin nearly backtested its bull market support band was this moment right here, post spot ETF approval at the back end of January. And when we nearly came to that point, Bitcoin on a weekly time frame was essentially putting in higher highs. You can see this wick right here, this wick right here, and then of the week of the spot ETF, it put in a higher high before coming back down, where it ultimately didn't touch. If we go to this pattern right now, Bitcoin has been putting in higher lows after higher low, after higher low, after higher low. So what does that tell us? It tells us that momentum is shifting and that the momentum is going in the opposite direction that you would like to see Bitcoin USD. So I mentioned that in my prior videos, you do not want to see Bitcoin USD come back to its bull market support band because that is where the momentum shifts. Yeah. And as it wasn't a full successful retest to the point where we acknowledge the bull market support band and we test it in 2 consecutive weeks and then followed by a successful retest, we did not have that, which is why I'm still very skeptical that if Bitcoin evidently comes back down any closer and has a weekly close, because weekly closes pay more homage to the bull market support band than just weekly wicks, which is why I'm still skeptical. So as we are evidently nearing the bull market support band, we do not want to see Bitcoin get any closer. Bitcoin right now has to spring to the upside. Otherwise, the momentum's going to shift and it's not going to shift greatly. It's going to come back to its backtest to its bull market support band, and it's not going to backtest it as support. I'm telling you guys, it is not going to backtest as support. So that is my bias. My bias is that this wick right here wasn't a full successful retest. Technically speaking, it did touch the bull market support band as a wick and then closed above, forming this little hammer candle right here. But it has evidently gone sideways. It hasn't thoroughly closed at the bull market support band and held it as support for consecutive weeks before moving back up to the upside. It was only a wick, so that is why I'm still very skeptical. So that is Bitcoin against its bull market support band in the last couple of weeks. I also have this white line here, which is the 100-week moving average. And I also spotted something where it kind of rhymes with what's happened in prior cycles. And let me show you what I mean. So if we look back at 2019, and my opinion is that this part of the cycle does resemble 2019 in a way because we are going through the same sort of rate hiking cycle that we did then. Only that this rate hiking cycle is a lot larger than the last rate hiking cycle. And if I just show you, for example, just to verify what I mean, you can see that in 2019, this was the rate hiking cycle right here. Whereas right now, this rate hiking cycle is a lot larger. Yeah, it's just a fact. This rate hiking cycle is a lot larger. So that is why I'm of the opinion that this is some sort of extended cycle of rate hiking, because what if the Fed didn't cut rates back in 2019? Bitcoin could have essentially still gone on into an uptrend, right? But we had rate cuts, and that is when the slow bleed back into the bull market support band occurred. But that's a story for another video. I just want to, however, compare this to two price cycle because it looks very eerily similar. Yeah. When we take a look at Bitcoin USD, where we have had these sort of significant tops, how did Bitcoin react to its bull market support band? You can see many times when Bitcoin has these tops right here, and more specifically 2014 and 2019, because when we put in these significant tops, Bitcoin wicks to its bull market support band, just wicks, gets some sort of a relief rally, but that evidently resolves to a lower high, and then comes back to its bull market support band, reaches the 100-week moving average, and then capitulation. Just like how in 2019, where Bitcoin has had a significant top, it then wicks to the bull market support band right here, has a relief rally into a lower high right here, then falls to the 100-week moving average, and then after falling to the 100-week moving average, you get some sort of relief back up to the bull market support band, and just like here, back up to the bull market support band, and then what ensues after that? Capitulation below the 100-week. So could that be happening right now, where we essentially wick to the bull market support band, get some sort of relief rally resulting in a lower high, coming back to the bull market support band and not back testing it as support like how I've previously mentioned, work our way back to the 100-week moving average, back test that as support, reach the bull market support band again, and then capitulation ensues. What if that happens? It's happened in prior cycles, so we cannot discredit what can essentially happen in the future for Bitcoin. I mean, no one would have thought at this point right here that price would have dropped 88% or so. Just like how in 2019, no one would have thought price would have dropped from the high of 2019 70 or so percent. So even if we just take a 60% drop, let's say, because the first peak was 80%, the second peak was 70%. So even if we just take a 60% drop, where would that put us? A 60% drop would take us back down to the high 20s, low 30s, which coincides with the fact how that equals the top that Bitcoin struggled to go above last summer. So those are just some sort of future ideas that I'm thinking of that I believe may happen. It all just depends what Bitcoin does here. Because if Bitcoin just goes sideways, the bull market support band's going to come up and something has to give. Bitcoin's going to meet its bull market support band and something has to give. Is it going to hold it successfully? If it does, and I'm not discrediting that idea because it can do, if it does backtest it as support, then I believe new highs can occur. However, once the Bitcoin price meets the bull market support band, and it definitely will within the next few weeks, if not months, and it struggles, you have to look at 2014 and 2019 because the same thing happened right there where Bitcoin finally came back to the bull market support band, failed to hold it as support, went back down to the 100-week moving average, held that as support, and then capitulation ensued. The same thing can happen. So it's just to keep an eye out. It's just to understand where you are with the markets and just to plan ahead, because anything can literally happen, guys. I'm telling you, anything can happen in cryptocurrency. You'd be surprised. I know everyone on crypto Twitter is a perma bull where they just want it to go up all the time for their bag's sake, and that's understandable. When money's involved, emotion is also involved at the same time. So you just need to learn how to control your emotions. But I'm keeping my eye out for this. And when it comes to looking at altcoins as well, altcoins are a lot riskier than Bitcoin. We know this. So let's just take a look at a couple of altcoins and see where we are. So Bitcoin has closed above its bull market support band. And by the way, the bull market support band is shuffling around 57.5k to just shy of 58k. It is in that tight range of just shy of 58k. So that means Bitcoin is only 7.5% away from its bull market support band. Let's check the next best cryptocurrency within the asset class, and that is Ethereum. If we take a look at Ethereum, where does Ethereum lie with regards to its bull market support band? Well, just by looking at Ethereum, you can see that we've had a weekly close below its bull market support band. You can see that right here. Ethereum closed at $2,928, whereas its bull market support band is above that, and it's currently ranging between $2,957 and $3,018. So Ethereum has in fact closed below its bull market support band, which isn't great because it means that it is not showing strength. Now, let's say Bitcoin goes onto some sort of a relief rally and works its way up to form a lower high, which could be in this range right here. Where would that put ETH? Well, that would put ETH in a situation where it could retest its bull market support band to the point where we can analyze if it's now resistance. Bitcoin has that luxury to go down as support, whereas Ethereum doesn't anymore because it's already below. So Bitcoin has the luxury to go down and backtest the support, whereas Ethereum does not have the luxury because if it goes up, it has to face resistance now. Do you understand? If we take a look at other cryptocurrencies instead, you can see that ADA is well below its bull market support band. If we take a look at the Binance coin, BNB, that is still well above its bull market support band. BNB has performed significantly well. We just have to wait and see for this one. If we take a look at XRP, that's also below its bull market support band. If we take a look at Chainlink, that's also below. Many altcoins are below the bull market support band. Solana is just above, only ever so slightly, with its weakness in the last few weeks. If we take a look at Litecoin, Litecoin is at its bull market support band. If we take a look at Dogecoin, that's just above as well. But none of them have the luxury that Bitcoin has, because Bitcoin is evidently higher in terms of its chart. Bitcoin can drop 7.5% and still be there, whereas altcoins are either just 1 or 2% away or already under. So what do you think happens when Bitcoin evidently or essentially comes back down to its bull market support band and drops 7.5%? That pretty much means that all altcoins will probably fall below it, right? And that is why I am heavily on the opinion of the bull market support band. No, not the bull market support band. That's why I'm so heavily invested into the Bitcoin dominance, because it shows you that Bitcoin is stronger than the altcoin market right now. So that is just another way to navigate the market per se, so you can understand your risk adjusted returns. But that is it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video regarding the bull market support band. I've tried to analyze a few patterns, tried to compare it to the past and what can happen in the future. It's cryptocurrency, guys. What you plan for the future may not happen on the day. So for example, if you're planning that Bitcoin USD will go down in the midterm, in the short term you could get some sort of relief rally and then you look like an idiot. Do you understand what I mean? But the future thesis is that we need to wait and see how the real test will look like once Bitcoin USD finally comes into real contact and has closes at the bull market support band. That is the real test, in my opinion. Not this wick right here. This wick right here is skeptical because it just looks like manipulation. We need to see thorough, successful tests, just like we did in the 2017 bull market. Yeah. So That is it from me today, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that thumbs up, smash that like button, and as always, smash that subscribe button too. It's been your boy J1 General. Thank you and goodbye.